Test 1, 2, 3, 4. We got a device going here. Okay, I think we got it. Good morning, Rumble Studios. Good morning, Rumble Studios. Good morning, Rumble Studios on this Wednesday, 05.07.2025. Current time is 06:11 a.m. Eastern Time here in upstate New York. That'd be the southern tier of upstate New York where I live and reside. And we have good audio. We have good audio. I forgot to disconnect my I wasn't hearing anything at first, and I still had my gaming headphones on. Good morning, folks. Rich Roberts at Fireman Rich here on Rumble Studios. We are broadcasting out to a network of, and I don't have to worry about them leaving, a network of channels here. We have Rumble, we have Locals, we have Twitch, we have YouTube, we have X Live, we have Kick, and yes, I remembered Facebook. So we have seven channels that we're broadcasting to. We forgot to flip the channel Monday for Facebook, but we're back up on the Facebook, the Real Fireman Rich, and so we're on seven channels here, and I posted to like 10 platforms before coming on here, the link. So I think we're pretty much covered. But we are getting our day started. It is hump day as we're working towards the weekend. I hope everybody had a great Tuesday. It was rainy. It was soppy. Oh, and I didn't hit the microphone yesterday. And we had an okay day. I'll say it's okay and just leave it at that. There was one thing there that with the storm that came through, had the car outside the garage, and the thunderstorm came through, and I'm playing PUBG Battlegrounds, and I'm looking out the window, and I see pea-size hail, and it's okay, they're just pea-size. Well, I go out later there to put the car back in the garage, and there's a crack on the windshield, and I'm like, oh my God. All the times I've worked and I've had the car out in the parking lot and stuff like that, and there's been storms like this, worse storms, worse. And I'm like, just one of those things. It just you never know as far as that goes. You just think it's not going to happen, and it happened. So I got to give what's that company, SafeLight, a call today to get that. And but other than that, we had a good day. Muddling through the wet weather yesterday, I guess, the rainy weather and stuff. So, but it's I don't know, it's a little cloudy out there now. We're supposed to get some rain showers, I guess, but we'll see what happens. But let's see. We are currently 51 degrees Fahrenheit. 10 degrees, that's 10 degrees Celsius on the temperature outside. We got 68 degrees in the house here that on the wall clock there as far as that goes. And so we'll see what happens today, weather-wise. I said yesterday it was raining, it was wet, and we need the water. It's the spring showers and stuff like that. So as far as that goes, and but the day is going to be, let's see, on the forecast, a shower or two possible this morning with partly cloudy skies for the afternoon. High 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Good morning. Okay, the missus is up. Winds out of the west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of rain, 30%. It doesn't look like it's rain clouds out there, but I tell you, the leaves are coming into the trees over here. Pear tree lost all its flowers. We have two Korean spice trees over here. One is pretty old. The other one we planted a number of years back. But the Korean spice, it's like a white ball of white flowers. The smell, oh my God, it's so. It hasn't come into full force now, the older one, because it's a much more mature tree, and the blossoms are just the bundle of blossoms, I should say, are unreal. I'll have to take a picture of it and show it here on the broadcast here next, or maybe Friday. But looks like we're going to have still some wet weather. The sun rose this morning at 5:54. 5:54 a.m. That was 20 minutes ago. The sun rose at 5:54 a.m. The sun will be setting at 8:11 p.m. Geez, 8:11. We're pushing towards that 9 o'clock one now. And I'm just thinking, May 7th. Today's May 7th. It's a week already into the new month. Wow, this month is going fast. So that's what we have for the local weather. Our world times and temperatures as I speak. We have Honolulu, Hawaii at 12:17 a.m. Cloudy skies with a little clearing, 75 degrees Fahrenheit in Honolulu. Phoenix, Arizona at 3:17 a.m. Cloudy skies with a little clearing, and they're at 63 degrees Fahrenheit in the windy city of Chicago, Illinois. We have cloudy skies, little clearings, 54 degrees Fahrenheit. In New York City, the jungle at 6:17 a.m. We have sunny skies, sunny and clear, 55 degrees Fahrenheit. Across the pond, the Atlantic Ocean in Cork, Ireland, cloudy skies at 11:18 a.m., 61 degrees Fahrenheit. In Milan, Italia, mangia. It's lunchtime in Milan at 12:18 p.m., 64 degrees Fahrenheit, cloudy skies. Kuala Lumpur at 6:18 p.m. It's raining in Kuala Lumpur, 88 degrees Fahrenheit. And in Tokyo, Japan at 7:18 p.m., cloudy skies in Tokyo, 64 degrees Fahrenheit. And down under on the great continent and in the great country of Australia, we have at Melbourne, Australia at 8:18 p.m., little cloudy skies with a little clearing, 57 degrees Fahrenheit. And in Sydney at 8:18 p.m. in their evening, cloudy skies with a little clearing there in Sydney, 70 degrees Fahrenheit. And those are our world times and temperatures as I speak. And I forgot to say on this hashtag positive start to today, hashtag PSDTD, I do have the morning coffee. And it's tasted really good. I forgot to say that right at the beginning. The Wednesday morning coffee would not be a Wednesday morning coffee if we didn't have a cup of coffee. There's Jackie Jack. What are you doing, Jackie Jack? You gonna come up? Are the cats chasing you again?
No, Buck was in here.
Yeah. Okay, you want to get up here and look at your window? Out your window? You gonna get up there? Huh? Yeah. Okay. There's Jackie Jack. Let's open the window for Jackie Jack. There you go, Jackie Jack. There you go. Open the window for Jackie Jack. Okay, let's see what we got here on the network of channels. We are on X Live. Let me check X Live. We have one viewer on X Live, it looks like. Thank you very much. We have over on Kick. We have no viewers, but we're looking pretty good on Kick. I remember to change the title over there on Kick. Um, I don't know why I'm broadcasting on Kick. I know one or two people on Kick, but it's not really. Yeah, it's a platform. It's a platform. And then on the Facebook, let's see, how come? There we go. We're live on the. There's the Facebook. We got the Facebook up, so we're running, and we're broadcasting also into Twitch, YouTube, locals, and of course Rumble here on Rumble Studios. Rumble Studios platform gives you that way of doing that. You broadcast to those 7 platforms, and I like it. I like it. I prefer it more than say Restream. I haven't used Restream in quite a while. I know that's the preferred platform that people like to use. There's a few things that you could do on Restream that you can't do on Rumble Studios, but all in all, the main points of a platform such as Rumble uh, does is the same as Restream, and also StreamYards. Oh, what was in the new? What is it? Microsoft is going to be shutting down Skype. That was in the news yesterday. So we're losing a platform, folks. I'm on Skype. I've had a Skype from the get go. I don't use it. I think the last time I used it was during COVID. I think I even used it in this platform when I was over on Haps and stuff like that to bring people in and stuff. So yeah, Skype is going away. I guess Microsoft has reported as saying that they want to work on Teams, which I'm a little irritated with it because or is that Copilot? Yeah, the Copilot keeps on coming up when I start my computer, and I don't want it starting up on. So it's Microsoft they load it up, and you gotta. It's one of those things I gotta figure out how to. And there's a way of doing it. I did it before, as far as I don't want it to start right off the gate out of the gate, but I do have Teams. That's part of the Microsoft suite, so they're going more to Teams, and it's the same thing as say Skype. And but it's not like Restream or StreamYards because that's broadcasting. I don't think you can't broadcast. You can use it in conjunction with say OBS, which I use OBS. I use OBS to bring my camera into Rumble Studios. I love Rumble OBS. I guess I could just I can broadcast just on OBS, but that's and there's ways of doing multiple channels as far as that goes. But if you do that on OBS, you degrade, you take away, you're using your own system. Where Rumble Studios, Restream, or StreamYards. Hey, Double J's. Hey, yes, Skype is. Yeah, did you hear that? I thought that was a pretty. Skype, one of the originals, is going away. I wonder if I just heard that. Yeah, Skype is history, and. And let's see. Yes, agree. Teams is. I didn't say they're not. I don't really use them to say this. It's just another platform to me. I don't really think it's good or bad. It probably has its use in business, I guess, and also, but Teams, I guess, are refining it, and they don't need 2 platforms. I guess Microsoft is looking at it. So I don't really use it. It's on my computer if I have to use it. I think it's a good idea to have it because if you're in businesses, I'm not working anymore. So, but but good morning, Double J's. Glad to have you here this morning, and we also have sneaking in here. Good morning, Tina, our Jersey girl. No, you weren't sneaking. I'm just kidding. um, as far as that goes, I forgot to bring up. Let's see. I forgot to bring up another. Oh, I forgot to bring up 2 tabs I'm just seeing here right now, so we'll get that going. But good morning, Tina. Hope all is well with you. Thank you for being here. And she is, Double J's is saying good morning to Tina on the Twitch. They're both over on the Twitch for the folks that are listening on the replay, and also listen to the audio because we replay the audio from this broadcast over there on Spotify for Creators. Fireman Rich over on Spotify for Creators. And but we have an active chat there, mostly from Twitch, and Tina is saying good morning to Double J. So I'm more or less verbalizing what's in the chat for those folks that are listening on the replay on the audio pod, as I call it, on Spotify for Creators. And Tina says down there in central New Jersey, they're going to have a high of 77 degrees Fahrenheit and also a low of 54 down in Jersey. And Tina's laughing at me as far as that goes. I get the laugh. I get the chuckles there quite a bit as far as my bonehead antics. But I do appreciate both you, Double J's, and Tina for being here. You're taking time to be in the chat, and that really means a lot as far as that goes. And as well as the viewers, as far as watching currently on all the network of channels that we have here, and also on the replay. And let's see, I think you have teams if one has one. Yes, it is. It's built in. It's part of the suite there as far as that goes. And I think I deactivated that, but now because I used Copilot once, Copilot's not good. What do you got? Copilot, you got Gemini, Grok. Those are the three big AI ones. I have Gemini on my phone. I like using Gemini if I use, and then you got Google. I call Google AI. That's the original AI, I guess. Google's the same. Just sometimes we've been AI is just. I think it's always been with us. It's just it's. They're trying to repackage that it's something new. The real scary AI is when you get it like in the Terminator, but we won't see that in our lifetime. Though we do have robots. We do have robots, and they're fun to watch. They even, was it South Korea? No, it was China. China had a marathon where they had half the entries or something like that. A bunch of them were robots that ran a marathon. That's just like it's challenged. Okay. Some actually succeeded, which I thought that was pretty interesting. Let's see. I got one more thing to do here before we get to our thought for the day. But I hope you all had a great day there, Double J's and Tina, as far as yesterday, as we're just getting started here as far as on the broadcast. I don't know if you were here. I ended up getting a crack in my windshield yesterday during a thunderstorm. There was a pellet. So I got to give Safe Light a call. I was talking about that in the beginning of the broadcast, so I'm not sure if you heard that and stuff. So that's a little irritating. I was a little pissed off and stuff yesterday to be truthful about it and stuff, but it happens. There's sometimes I can remember when we were out in Kansas, stationed out at McConnell Air Force Base. There was a wall cloud. That's the cloud that comes through before the tornado, and there was tornadoes in the area. It dropped down softball size hail. Every car in the parking lot, their windshield and the back and their windows were completely gutted out. I'm driving through to get the estimate on my car because it's pelted all over the place, right? And I thought I was going to, they're going to go ahead and scrap the car and stuff like that. And they said, no, you still get your windshield, so you're still good. And and those were like baseball size to softball size hails back then, and it didn't, it pelted it. Oh my, yes, but Safe Flight are real good. We've had family that have used them, and so I'm going to be using them for the first time. It's for the car, the windshield, the front windshield. You got hail. It's like pea-sized hail, and the car was out yesterday, and I figure, the rain, they'll wash the car and stuff, and it just hits right. So insurance covers it, I guess. So it's just the irritation of giving them a call and doing it, but I don't drive that much anymore. So it's like we drove to lunch on Monday, and we're behind this dump truck. And I'm thinking the thing you get behind a dump truck, you're worried about those little pebbles bouncing off and hitting your windshield and getting a crack. I never get a crack. That it is. Insurance is covered. It's covered by insurance, Double J. So that's why you pay car insurance. So and my rate won't go up. My insurance company's a pretty good insurance company, as far as that goes. They've been really good and stuff like that. So when you pay out the nose for car insurance to have a car these days, um, but you have to have insurance to drive. So it's part of that. It's annoying, It's just annoying. I guess once it's fixed, and I'll forget about it and stuff. It'll just be a story that I will tell years down the line as far as the next time it happens. Oh, I remember when. As far as that goes. Let's see. I almost got this set up. Let's see. I forgot to bring up two tabs here for the thought for the day. And our thought for the day is from a gentleman. I've read his books. Very, very knowledgeable individual, and that's from Norman Vincent Peale. He was an American Protestant clergyman and an author best known for his polarized and concept of positive thinking, especially through his best-selling book, The Power of Positive Thinking. And I read that book. It's a fantastic book. I read that in my early days of the Air Force, and it really, really had an influence on me. So this gentleman here, I have very high regards. He passed away in December 24 in Pawling, New York, and Tina says she's read his book, which is as well, which very, very influential. And so in the queue there, the thought for the day quote queue, his name came up, and I said, "Yep, we're going to get Mr. Vincent Peale up here." And his quote is as follows. It's very simple, very straightforward, and you've heard other versions of it, but it's a reminder of some things of our outlook. And this is the thought for the day, quote from Vincent Peale. Change your thoughts, and you change your world. It just goes back to, and I think even Tina said it last broadcast. Think positive. You got to be positive. That's what it's saying. But it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 words. 8 words of wisdom there. And Tina says, absolutely, yeah. Change your thoughts, and you change your world. See, I'm already changing my thoughts on the on the crack in my windshield. Oh, it happens. We'll get it fixed. All done. Instead of, oh, that sucked. Blah, 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 blah. No, that was me yesterday for about 30 minutes. The missus thought I was kidding when I came in. I told her. She said, "You're kidding." I said, "No, you come." And we went out there. She said, "Holy crap!" So a good quote there from Vincent Peale, and the whole meaning behind that is that our mindset and perspective significantly impacts our reality of what we're doing. So we need to, if you change your way of thinking to a more positive, your perspective will be positive, and the impact of what you're doing in your life will be more positive. By altering our thoughts, we can influence our experiences, relationships, and overall life. This encourages a positive outlook, belief in oneself, and use of affirmation to overcome challenges. So, if you think positive, you can overcome everything. You got to be positive as far as that goes. And Double J says, as always, good choices on good thoughts of the. Oh, thank you, Double J. Yeah, Vincent Peale, he rates up high with me. That name right there. It's just like I said. I don't. Back in the early days in my Air Force career, you didn't really have much TV to watch. You did not have the internet, so you either listened to the radio, which got old after about 20, 30 minutes. Or else, unless you were, so you read books, and I can remember that was one of that's back in the day when I first read Lord of the Rings, and I said, no, I can't believe I'm going to read this, but there was nothing else to do, so you found books, and that was one of the books that by Vincent Peale that I read, and I can honestly say I speak very highly that book. And I only read it once, and I can still remember reading it and stuff. So it's just a very influential book, and I think anything that Mr. Vincent Pale says is worth listening to as far as that goes. So thank you, Vincent Pale. God bless and Godspeed. Let's see. We have a national day today. Let's see what we have there. Let me put that on comments. Let's see. We have National Tourism Day. Okay. National Interpretation Appreciation Day. Okay, that's interesting. National Skill Trade Day. Yeah, okay. National Package Design Day. Oh, what are we going to go with? Which one? You guys pick. Which one of those four? That's only four. Oh my God, they're not there. Oh, we got Sea Dome coming up on the YouTube here. Let's go with National Interpretation Appreciation Day. Okay, I guess I'm going with that one because I used to work at IBM. When I worked up at IBM at Endicott. Is that an okay one, Tina? Okay, Tina says that one's okay. I got a story. I'm picking this because I relate, because I've never had any contact with any. You always hear the foreign leaders, they have their interpreter. But do you ever use an interpreter in your daily lives, or do you know an interpreter? I know one person. It was years back. I worked with him at Endicott. He was an Iraqi. From northern Iraq. What's that region? I forget. There's a certain the Kurdish. He was Kurdish. Binghamton, New York has a Kurdish population as far as that goes. But this is back when I worked at IBM, and this gentleman came in, and I had to train him this one function on. It was a stripper. He had to feed the plates through, or the core that we made to the thing. So I was training him. It was a simple task. It can be over one, but he picked up no problem. And he was Iraqi. We knew there was Iraqi people from Iraq. It was just before the Iraq War. And these people, let's just say they weren't in favor with Saddam Hussein. Okay, all the people that did leave, the Kurdish of northern Iraq. And so I got to know him very well on coffee breaks. I made it a point because it seemed like a lot of people I worked with at that point, they were a little skittish and stuff like that. But I'd been in the Air Force. I'd been to many countries and stuff, so it was nothing. I can remember his first day. He sat down. He was by himself. I grabbed a cup of coffee, sat down, and talked to him. Got to know him. And this gentleman, he told me. I'm going to have to show it. I have some old Iraqi money he gave me. He said, this is worthless, but he gave it to me as a present because he worked there for about a little over 6 months, and then he was called back. He was an interpreter for the United States government, and this is when they were getting ready to go back into the war. So he ended up getting the call up. They wanted him back, and he said he wanted to do that. He wanted to go back to his country, and but he was an interpreter, and he told me some things about the Saddam Hussein regime. Was very, very eye-opening. Stuff that you don't see in the news. I don't think anybody realized that the average Kurdish Iraqi that left Iraq had over a minimum of a $50,000 bounty on them, as far as that goes. And because this gentleman, I don't want to say his name or anything like that, but this gentleman, I think his was like $500,000, he said, as far as that goes. Yeah, he's back. His family is residing in the Binghamton area. They have, I believe, well, their daughter's probably older now because it's been a number of years now and stuff like that. So I just remember, I hope he's back in America. Yeah. He no problem with him. This guy was a very, very smart person. But the average American here, Double J's, they just look at them differently and stuff. They didn't, people in the United States, if they don't travel, and I'm not talking just going to Canada, I mean going overseas. I've been to Italy. I've been to, as far as over Europe, that's different. But I've been to the Philippines. I've been to Korea. I've been to those countries to where you've had some regimes and stuff like that. So I have a basic knowledge of what that country, but the average American doesn't. They just get it from if they're watching either Fox News or the rag garbage news of MSNBC. CNN, they're starting to come around. I'm watching a little bit of CNN. They're starting to, as far as that goes. And Double J says that's good to know. Just goes to show his service. Oh yeah, it was. Oh, believe me, it was Double J's. Yes, this guy he helped immensely because the average American military person doesn't know Iraqi. So he was very it was a very interesting experience to have worked with this gentleman at IBM, and he's living a good life now and stuff like that. But it was very eye opening though, and the thing. But the people, like I said, they just didn't really. My fellow workers, American workers, they cozied up to him, but they didn't. They were very reserved and they were skittish because it's a part of the world that we were getting refugees from the Kurdish people, who were fighting for their own independence, I guess, at that time and stuff. And so it was pretty interesting, very eye opening when you talk to. I know if I sat down with you, Double J's, instead of this forum, and I sat down with you to have a coffee or something like that, I would have a whole slew of questions about India because you've shared some of so you've opened our eyes to that to a certain perspective, but there's a little bit of it when you're face to face and stuff like that. It's just like I really appreciate those type of moments with people that I have talked to with in the past, as far as that goes. Double J says, I remember reading Afghan interpreters also got a second chance. Oh yeah. He's he was working towards citizenship and all that and stuff like that. His his daughter, I guess she's, like I said, it was in. I think at the time his daughter was in grade school back then, as far as that goes. So it's like I said, very interesting. Oh, let's go back. We're talking about the guy. Today is National Interpreter Appreciation Day, so that gives me the idea. See, and I do appreciate. Okay, so this has a little bit more meaning. So National Interpretation Appreciation Day. We get sidetracked here, folks. Or for our thought, or for our National Day. There are about 6,500 languages in the world, and on any given day, we're bound to come into contact with more than one of them. National Interpretation Appreciation Day on the first Wednesday in May celebrates the interpreters who connect those who want to communicate, but they don't speak the same language. They also translate for government services, businesses, hospitals, organizations, and more. Interpreters learn many different languages, including Spanish, French, Arabic, Mandarin, Italian, Portuguese, Russian, Japanese, and sign language in many different forms. And Double J says, every American has to travel, get them out of their comfort zone and out there open their eyes, learn something new. Exactly, Double J's. You guys got powerful passports, don't need visas in most countries. Exactly, yeah. But the big thing is the average American can't Double J's because of the cost. The cost of I would love to travel a little bit more, but the cost. I could travel if I wanted to, but I had my fill. 13 of the 20 years I was in the service, I was around this world. At the locations I've told you, as well as a few other locations that I really haven't discussed about as far as, but for various operations, I guess you could say, in support of, I guess I could say. I didn't do the mission. I just supported certain missions as far as that goes as a firefighter. Because let's just say you got to bring an aircraft into a certain area, you got to have a firefighter there. So I've been told. But at any rate, yeah, it's always intriguing to. I mean, it was a whole different education level traveling when I was in the service, and I don't take that lightly. I do not take it lightly. You have traveled a lot in your service. Yes, it has. It has a direct impact. Exactly, Double J's. It has had a direct impact, and um, and there's a lot of stuff when I travel I didn't agree with, but it's just like I'm glad I had the experience. Okay, and it has an influence on me, and of course my children they sometimes they say I'm talking out my ass, but I'm not. I'm very serious about that because we're all on this, as big as the world that we may think it is. It's not that big as far as traveling. And there's sometimes I've in the service I've met people from right here in New York that and that's an experience in itself. You're on the other side of the world, and this person, oh yeah, I live 2 towns from you. Oh wow, that's so. There's our National Interpretation Day. So traveling is good. But after a while, it's just like I said, it's just like I'm just happy being here, bump on the log, doing my live streaming or my podcast or something like that. And what did we do yesterday? Yesterday it was a Tuesday. The Tuesday thing that I do, we were over on Mixcloud where I did the Tioga Radio Show. We presented 8 songs yesterday. That's over on mixcloud.com/Richard M. Roberts. The Tioga Radio Show for 6 May 2024. I do have another Mixcloud channel, the original one that has 212 episodes. I didn't squash that one. You're only allowed to have 10 broadcasts on there, so I made a second channel. Yesterday we had Kyle Daniel with "Find Me" or "Fire Me Up." That's a good song. It featured Maggie Rose, and then we had Elvis Costello and the attractions with "Pump It Up." Billy Idol with "Dancing with Myself." That's a classic. Deep Purple, another classic here with "Woman from Tokyo." Steely Dan, this is one of my favorite songs. "My Old School," that's a great song. Lenny Kravitz, what a rocker. "Always on the Run" is the name of that tune. The Black Crowes with "Remedy," and then we ended with The Who, "I Can See for Miles," and great tunes there yesterday. You can check that out. That's the link is on my X feed at Fireman Rich there. Let's see. Double J says, "Yep, everybody needs a roof over their head and food and send their kids to school. Just basic needs. Doesn't matter where we're in the blue marble." Yeah, exactly. Double J's. It's all the same, but the only thing that differs us is our cultures, the way we're brought up and stuff. If you strip those cultures, we're all human. That's the way I look at it. That's why. Was it on the show here? Somebody said they thought I was Italian. I said, no, I'm a effing American. But beyond that, I'm just a human being on this blue marble. We're all human, okay? So we all have, I cut my finger, cut Double J's finger, Tina. We all bleed red. We're human. So it's just the culture, how we're raised, and the culture as far as that goes. I'm cultureless, I guess. With just Americans, they don't really have a culture. Yeah, I guess we do. We have thoughts and ideas, I guess, or something like that. But there's other countries that have a very good, very significant culture and stuff like that. That molded all these different cultures. They created this world that we live on right now. Red is all that matters. Anything else, I would be worried. Exactly. Double J's. Exactly. And double that's a good one right there. Yeah, if it's not red, there's something wrong. Oh, that's a good one, Double J's. That is a good one. I never thought about that. Yeah, what happens if it isn't red? Oh, are we an alien? Then I'm talking of the extraterrestrial type, an ET. That's a good one. Tony D is in the house. Salute to you, my good friend, my brother veteran, and fellow broadcaster. And Tony says good morning.
Good morning, Tony.
There you go, Tony. And Tony says hashtag positive start to the day from the Rumble side of the house. And Tony is saying from over there on Twitch, he jumped over to Twitch, 60 degrees Fahrenheit down there in Warner Robins, Georgia. A high of 78 degrees today and low of 60 degrees. Cloudy down in Warner Robins, Georgia. And Tony saying hi to Double J, saying hi to Tina. Double J's is giving Tony a hi back. Hello, sir, to Tony. And Tina saying good morning to Tony in the chat there, all on the Twitch. So glad to have you here, Tony. Hope all is well down there in Warner Robins, Georgia. Glad to have you here, my friend. And there he is. He gives a salute. He's checking out. I got the Facebook up, too. Let's check. He'll probably end up putting a smiley face or like on the Facebook. Not yet. There it is. I just saw it. Thank you, Tony. There it is. Yeah, this live streaming stuff works, and as far as that goes, and you got to get you've been too busy lately. I haven't seen you up on the live stream of late. But seeing our good friend Michael Bathurst from Canada, the Canadian Prime Minister met with with President Trump yesterday and stuff, and they were talking around the fact that Canada is going to be no. I think that's a joke. Canada's not going to be the 51st state. I mean, anybody seriously thinks that is, it's just. Would we like it? Yeah, we're open to it, but I don't think Canadians are. But maybe some Canadians. But the new Canadian Prime Minister, he was in Washington yesterday visiting President Trump, and I think President Trump likes him, other than compared to the other douchebag, other former Canadian prime ministers which. He was just going by. I don't think he brought anything to the table for Canada. That's just my opinion, okay, folks. Canadians can think otherwise, but I guess this guy, he wasn't supposed to win, and he ended up winning. So the Canadian people have spoken as far as that goes. So that's going to be interesting to see. I think the meeting yesterday, the take I saw on the newsreel yesterday is that President Trump is pretty impressed with this guy. As far as that goes, they can work together, and that's what happens. You can work together. Canada is a very good friend of ours. We have our differences and stuff like that, but when it comes down to the brass tacks, we're on the same page as far as that goes. They're our northern neighbor, and we do appreciate them. Let's see. What do we got for time? We got 44 minutes coming up on 45 minutes. We do have a thought for the day from Monday. This is out every Monday now, I guess. I guess that's the way they're doing it. JT. Not sure what JT is. Is that the initials of the Prime Minister, JT? Or Double J's? JT? Is that his name? Let me see. New Prime Minister. Can it? Oh, it's Mark Carney. The Honorable Mark Carney, Prime Minister Canada. Oh, that imbecile. Yeah. I don't even want to. I don't even know his name. I just know he was an imbecile and stuff. It's some of the stuff that. The Honorable Mark Carney is the new Prime Minister of Canada, and who is he? Well, he. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, JT. So a new chapter in Canadian leadership there as far as that goes. So we wish them well. We wish the new prime minister well for Canada. And I guess from what I saw in the way he's very, very personable. My first impression of him compared to the other bonehead they had, Doofus. I'll say some not too mean names, I guess. Let's see. Let's get to the thought for the day before I go off on a tangent here. I don't want to. Let's see. 100 years ago, we haven't had one of these in a while. So, and they're going to be on a weekly basis. It'll be on Wednesday. It'll be a month. This is from Monday, May 5th, on Cinco de Mayo Day. But we'll go ahead and see what this. Let me turn off the scroll here. Oh, let's see. Studio banner. Turn that off. Okay, and we just. And there we are. There's the young lady that gives us the thought for the day, and we'll go ahead and commence with this and enjoy.
Well, tonight we continue our segment on sharing some of Broome County's past. Delivering that news for us now is Broome County historian Roger Luther, brought to you by UHS.
100 years ago today, the star 3-year-old racehorse at Sunbriar Court, known as Sunnyman, owned by Willis Sharp Kilmer, died Saturday night as a result of poisoning. Happened at the Pimlico Racetrack near Baltimore. An investigation is now in progress to determine the identity of the poisoner. Arrangements are being made to open the 3 bathhouses on the rivers in Binghamton this Memorial Day. Construction of the new Christopher Columbus School on Hawley and Fayette Streets is underway. 6 district marble champions were established during the semifinal contest held at Recreation Park on Saturday. The finals of the Big Binghamton Marble Tournament will take place this coming Saturday. And finally, Binghamton police made 352 arrests during April, and of that total, 137 were for public intoxication. That was the news, May 5th, 1925.
100 years ago today, we had 352 arrests. That's just in the month of April 100 years ago. And more than a third of them, 137, were public intoxication. Oh my God. And yeah, bathhouses. They had bathhouses back in the day, Double J's. Yes, yes. I like the one where it says the six district marble champions were established during the semifinal contest. They still do this marble contest to this day. The championship, I looked this up. They're let's see. Let me look this up real quick. But they still do have, I don't know, I've never heard about it of late, but the National Marble Championships are held down there. I think it's down in, let's see, where are the Marble Champions? Down there in, they're over there in the UK. Tensley Green in West Sussex. But the national, that's the World Championships, as far as that goes. But the national here in the United States, they're held down there, down where Tina's at in Wildwood, New Jersey, as far as that goes. So that's interesting. And Jack is back. Hi, Jack. He's interested in the Marble Championships. He loves he plays with the furry balls. He's working up to the marble now. Okay, that was a good one there. Thank you, Roger Luther and Fox 40. Full disclosure, I have no affiliation with Fox 40 News or any other news agencies here. Yeah, down there in Wildwood, Tina. Wildwood, New Jersey. That's where the U.S. National Marble Championships take place. And Double J's is saying, "Hey Jack, hope you've been good." Yeah, he's been behaving, right? You a good boy? Yeah. He gets a little ornery. We got rain coming in, thunderclouds. Let's see. Let's check the radar here real quick. Local weather. What do we got for local? Yeah, there's the weather right there. That's the southern tier. We're getting a little little bit of the weather there as far as that goes. So it's going to be a wet day. Going to be a wet day. Other things in history. 79 years ago today, the innovative electronics company Tokyo Telecommunication Engineering, co-founded by Akio Morita and Masuo Imbuka, first began operations with 20 employees, later taking the name Sony. So 79 years ago, Sony was created. They built Japanese first tape recorders. In 1955, Sony transistor radio cracked open the U.S. market. My grandfather gave me a little portable Sony transistor AM radio. It was just AM back in the day. They didn't have it was just an AM. I just had AM channels. And I had the little earpiece. First piece of high tech I had. It was freaking great. Listen to the local radio stations here as far as that goes. It launched a new industry of consumer microelectronics with the teens being the biggest users. And I wasn't a teen. I think it was like 9 or 8 years old. And that was something to have. So 79 years ago, Sony started. 1824, Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, the choral, one of the greatest masterpieces composed while he was completely deaf, premiered in Vienna, as far as that goes. And Double J says, yeah, the only time I hear about Sony is their TVs. Yeah, they started building the transistor radios and tape recorders too. Let's see. The American Medical Association, AMA, was founded in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania back in 1847. And the concept of the integrated circuit, the basis of all modern computers, was first published by Gregor W.A. Dummer in 1952. And on this day, in 1999, Pope John Paul II, God bless and Godspeed, traveled to Romania, becoming the first pope to visit a predominantly Eastern Orthodox country since the Great Schism in 1054. And of course, they're in the process. They got the smokestack up, so there's going to probably be a new pope here sometime this week. I guess they just they're having their final meetings and stuff like that. So we'll see who the pope. I think who are the leading contenders today? There's a cardinal from the Philippines, and who's the other guy? There's another guy. I can't think of this. I haven't really been following it that much, but let's see. In other history of today, on May 7th, 1915, a German U-boat torpedoed and sank the British liner RMS Lusitania off the southern coast of Ireland, killing 1,198 people, including 128 Americans, and the U.S. wasn't happy. Out of the nearly 2,000 people that were on board. It was 1945, Nazi Germany signed an unconditional surrender at Allied headquarters in France, ending the World War II. So today was the end of World War II, back in 1945. And that it was on this day in 1975, President Gerald R. Ford, who I actually met, talked to, shook his hand, and I mentioned many times, I've actually spent a good 30 minutes talking to him. He was a former president, but he was up there at Hanscom Air Force Base, and he was in the firehouse waiting for his motorcade because his plane got there early. So he came they gave him a tour, and he's sitting there, and he was taking, nobody else wanted to talk to him because they were just in awe, because it's like, I was just fascinated because I voted for him, my first presidential election. Of course, he lost to Jimmy Carter. But in 1975, President Gerald R. Ford formally declared an end to the Vietnam era. In Ho Chi Minh City, formerly known as Saigon, the Viet Cong celebrated its takeover. It wasn't a takeover. The people, history will show that Ho Chi Minh, back after World War I, was asking for the U.S. help. A lot of people don't realize that. If you look back on history, Ho Chi Minh, he tried to strike up a relationship with the United States, but the United States back then, they were so stupid, being arrogant, thinking, nope, you got to talk to the French. It just it's one of those things. When you look in history, you find out these little tidbits, and a lot of the Ho Chi Minh speeches, if you in this history series on the History Channel, it doesn't talk about the start of the Vietnam War. They start what led up to this, and the lead up is that we turned our head away from Vietnam. We should have been involved, but because they were communism, and back during the 40s and 50s, the United States was so anal about people that were communists and stuff like that, and it's like a little bit too much, I guess. But anyway, Gerald Ford, he formally declared the Vietnam War was over. And that's what we have for history. And let's see. I'm going to go ahead and do the sports here. We had some NBA action. I can't believe this because I watched the end of this game. The Cleveland Cavaliers they've lost the first two games. Pacers took it they were leading. Cleveland had they had like a 4-point lead at the end. They were leading at the end. The last couple minutes, Indiana put it in drive, and they won last night to take a 2-0 lead against Cleveland, who was the favorite. And that score was, and they won by 1 point. Cleveland lost by 1 point last night. 120 for the Pacers, 119. Okay, Tina, we'll see you later. Take care. So Cleveland, they're 2-0. They got a hole to dig out of. Can they do it? I mean, Pacers, they're taking Cleveland. I hope the Knicks don't do that to the Celtics tonight because they won the first game. The Knicks will be playing tonight against the Celtics in the Garden. That was a close one. The first game they played, they lost by 3 points. And Celtics were favored to play that, but the Knicks and Celtics play tonight. I'll be watching that game, and that's in the NBA conference semifinals. In Major League Baseball, let's see, Major League Baseball starting. Let's see, Monday night. Monday night, who do we have play? Monday night, May 5th. We had the Yankees. They lost to the Padres 4-3. And the Mets play. The Mets beat the Diamondbacks out there in Arizona 5-4. Last night, the Yankees crushed the Padres 12-3. Wow. They must have got those torpedo bats going. And let's see, did the Mets play last night? Yeah, Mets, they lost to the Diamondbacks, so they traded off. Today, we'll have the Mets and Diamondbacks at 3:40, and Padres and Yankees tonight at 7:50. The Yankees are still hosting the Padres down in Yankee Stadium. This weekend, we're not going to be talking about UFL. I do have a broadcast tomorrow night. Let's Talk Football, UFL football. And as far as that goes, and there it is. There's the logo, UFL football right there. There it is right there. We'll have that tomorrow night. We'll be talking about the end of week 5, going into week 6 or something like that. We talk about the previous week and then going into to see how they line up as far as it's getting interesting. It's gotten a little bit better. It still hasn't totally grabbed my attention, but after last week, I think it was week 6. Yeah, week 6. We'll be talking about that tomorrow night on Let's Talk Football at 7 o'clock. It's about a 30-minute broadcast. If you watch the replay, thank you very much also. But this weekend, Saturday, Manchester City Football Club is playing Southampton. Now, Manchester City has moved up from 4th place. They are now in 3rd place. So they've got to win their last one. They have a chance of winning. They're only 3 points behind Arsenal. They can't. There's no way they can win the first spot. Liverpool has locked that up. In the Premier League. This is in the Premier Football League for it's like soccer. Okay, and that game will be this Saturday at 10. And let's see, can I watch that? Is that going to be on Peacock? Let's see, TV and streaming, and it's on NBC Sports. So USA, it's on the USA Network, so we'll be able to watch that. So they'll be playing them, and I've been getting into the soccer more so than UFL football. Unfortunately, it's just an exciting. You're waiting for that first goal, the anticipation of the first goal. And there's been a couple games I've watched where Manchester's gotten behind by 2, and they've lost, or else there's one game they actually came back. So there we have it for the Premier League over there in the UK. So, and that's a good deal over there. All right, folks, we're at an hour. I'm going to go ahead and take a break because my coffee is just about done, and I need to get another cup of coffee here and check the cat boxes as far as that goes. So we will be right back. We got 7 people on Twitch. Holy crap. Where are all these people? I just thought Double J's was there because Tina left. That's what it's showing on the tote board. But we're let's see. Let's check. We have 6 people over on X Live. Thank you very much. X Live, thank you. Very good. X Live has 6 people. Thank you for your views. I greatly appreciate it. You're taking a little bit of your time to watch this knucklehead on this live stream feed. Over on Facebook, let's see, still here. Yeah, I know, but you're one of 7 there. I'm showing that on the stream it says 3, but on the tote board it says 7. So I don't know what the difference there. I'm not seeing any number on Facebook. And over on Kick, do we have anybody? No, nobody over on Kick. But we do have. I'm showing 7 people. Maybe let me refresh this. Let me see. Let me just refresh this page. It says 7 on Kick. I don't know if that's accurate. And we got 1 person on YouTube, 1 person on Locals. We got 2 people on Rumble. No, it says 3. I wonder what that 7 is. That's a little off. It's not jiving with what I'm seeing. Let's see. Yeah, there's 3 people. I don't know. Come on, Rumble. Let's get the top. Of course, Rumble doesn't bring in the numbers for Facebook, X Live. So that's why I have to go to those pages. But at any rate, we're going to go ahead and take a break here. And I will be back in a couple minutes here. So just hang loose, and we will be right back and continuing with the Wednesday morning coffee. So hang loose as I look for the bubblegum ball game. Okay, we'll be right back, folks. And we're back. We're back here on the Wednesday morning coffee. And I got my second cup of coffee here, and I forgot to put it on the loop there and stuff. And as far as that goes, so we're back for the second half of the broadcast, and we do have a second cup of coffee here, as far as that goes, and we'll see what happens here. We got some. Go through the news here and see how long that lasts, as far as that goes, and see what's happening here in the southern tier of upstate New York, where I live and reside. And well, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot one thing. Hang on for a minute. I forgot one thing. I forgot to open up this back, which is what I normally do. There we go. Open up the back one. Yeah, it's a little wet out there. Yep. It's a little bit wet out there, but could get possible rain, but we'll see. We'll see what happens as far as that goes. So, but we are getting a day started with a hashtag positive start today, hashtag PSTDD, and we're here. And I want to say thank you for all of you being here. Greatly appreciate it. I like to say that throughout the show, because you're taking some of your time to watch this knucklehead, because you could be doing something else. Or else I'm just filling a void there, which I'm more than happy to do and stuff like that. It's I've been getting interested into playing with my partner Wingnut over there on PUBG Battlegrounds. We get talking about the state of PUBG Battlegrounds, and this is on the PC. There's a bunch of cheats, and the pros know that, but I got pointed in the direction of a couple other YouTube streamers there on the primary guy, and it's in my Twitch, the Twitch page there at the bottom. I have the people that I sort of highlight that I watch, and one of those gentlemen is of course Zabushka. He's on the PUBG Battlegrounds mobile. He's a great player. He's a good player. And then I also have a gentleman I just added there recently, Hollywood Bob. He's a good player. He's on YouTube. He's also here on Twitch, Hollywood Bob, to highlight him. And there's a couple other guys I can't remember who yeah, Hollywood Bob. Yeah, he's on. But there's another guy on the YouTube side that I watch, and who is that? Well, nothing related to PUBG Battlegrounds. There's a guy I've been watching. I'm getting ready to follow, and that's Nomad Brad. He's living on the back of a converted truck, I guess you could say, a U-Haul truck that but he has a nice setup. You would think, looking on the outside of this truck, because it's all decorated with his company and stuff, he lives inside the truck. It's pretty intriguing, but there's some good viewing. Who is this guy that what's his name here? I can't think of it. I can't think. Poco something? I can't think of his name here. Let me see if it pops up here. Poco. Yeah, the latest 19 hours ago, Hollywood Bob is a blatant cheater. Oh, that'll be interesting to watch. He's a trip. And then I'm going to give a shout out to Kenyon Ken, Kenyon Ken. He's on there. He does an embroidery. He has embroidery machines. He got me into silk screening T-shirts. He's a good guy. He's out there in California. He's a good kid. Give him a follow. To give a shout out to the people that I watch. But some of the top YouTube PUBG broadcasters, and Hollywood Bob being on Twitch also, they've been talking about the cheaters. And me and Wingnut have experienced about every battle we're in, there's a cheater and stuff. It's pretty blatant, but the game is still good. I still like playing the game, as frustrating as it may get, and stuff like that. So those are the people I'm watching on the YouTube and also on Twitch there, just to give them a shout out and stuff, because I'm watching more of them than I do watch regular TV. Like tonight, I'll definitely be watching TV because the Celtics are playing tonight and stuff like that. So, okay, let's see what's in the news. And before we get started, just full disclosure, the news pages that I do show, both TV and radio, I have no affiliation with them. I'm just showing what's going on here in the southern tier of upstate New York. And
What are the
one of the things that's going on is that there's a place, an eatery that I go to, but the missus, she wouldn't. But me and the guys I used to work with, we meet up here every once in a while. And it's pretty fun. And this is we've been going to this place for a number of years. I think the next time we hook up, I think we're going to be going here because we've been going to a local pub here for the last couple of times, the last 6 months there. I meet up with them like once every 3 or 4 months and stuff like that. And as far as that goes, but this is one of the places that I do go to and I do enjoy. It's not as good as this past Monday, me and the missus went to the Beer Tree, and I have no association with them, but it's one of my favorite spots. They have the best hamburger. It's called the Factory Burger. They raise their own beef. It's a brewery. I had this what is it? It's a Warning Timber blueberry beer, 10 ounce. Oh my God, was that good? It's delicious. It's a good sipping beer. So let's check out over there at WBNG about this story about a place I eat at, and that's called the Buffet Star, and see what that's all about here. So let's hear this.
One of the last buffet restaurants in the area announces it's reopening for business later this week. Buffet Star is once again opening for business after closing its doors temporarily in February of this year. Speaking with management at the restaurant, they said the closing allowed them to visit family and make important renovations to the restaurant, which they have not been able to do in their 15 years of being in business. They will be opening Friday, May 9th, and offer a special promotion of buy one meal, get a second half off as a thank you to the customers for their support.
So the Buffet Star, it's I like it. It's a good place. As far as when I first heard that they were the so-called closing, I thought they were going to close the whole place. And the place is just, I like the place. They got decent sushi. It's not the greatest, but it's not the worst. Okay, so it's decent sushi, and there's a whole bunch of selections. I mean, it's a fun place too to hang out with the guys, to have some buffet and drink a few beers and shoot the proverbial talking there and stuff like that. So, so there's that one on Fox 40. Let's see what else we got that's a local restaurant up there in Vestal, New York. And let's see. And I'm not seeing anything else, so that's quick. Okay, just one significant. Okay, let's see. And Mark Travell, okay, he's talking about the flooding. Let's see, WEBO. What do we have on WEBO? 3-car crash on 17C in Owego. Ooh, what's that about? I think I heard about this crash on the scanner. Let's see. 3-car crash shut down Route 17C. Oh, this is on Monday. Yeah, I think the accident occurred around noon on Route 17C. Oh, yeah, by the Owego Nazareth Church. Minor injuries reported incident, no further information. But just to go to show you what the car wreck looked like. That's the car accident that happened on 17C. It's looks like a truck and a car. Did you hear that one go out? I think we did. Yeah, I think we heard that. That was by the church there on 17C. And that's a straight stretch too. Wow. That's something. Holy criminy. That's a...
Oh no, somebody drifting up.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. Let's see. What else we have for local news here in Tioga County? That's about it there. Okay. And let's see. WNB. Oh, here's an article because we saw this. This is on WNBF page. There's a new. This is Monday. We were going to on Route 17 and off to the right, Route 86 to Johnson City to go see the Beer Tree, and we walked off to the right, and there was this digging going on there in on the south side of Owego. And let me bring this up here. This is on WNBF, which is a. Oh no, that's not it. That's not it. We want. We gotta bring it there. There we go. That's the channel I want. There we go. WNBF news radio. They're out of Binghamton, 1290 AM, 92.1 FM. They're a news outlet there, and they're again no affiliation with WNBF. I just like, but they're talking about a new business that's opening here, Tractor Supply. And what's the closest tractor? We got one in Vestal, and there's one in Sayre. The one in Sayre is closest, but after a delay of a few months, workers are busy building a new Tractor Supply store here in Tioga County. The national retailer received a local approval to construct 22,000 square feet. That's why they're digging all that. That's going to be a large Tractor Supply. 22,000 square foot facility at 858 Route 434 in the town of Owego. They received approval a year ago, and the start of construction was held up by various factors, including connecting the site with the water supply that serves the village of Owego. The store will be located about a quarter mile east of the village line. The 8-acre site is between Vesta Uniforms and the self-storage place there. Tractor Supply Company representatives have previously indicated construction of the new store would take 10 months to complete. So they're just starting out. Owego Town Supervisor Donald Castellano, I guess Castellano is so yeah. It said he was not certain of the current target date, but 10 months. They're just starting. So what's 10 months from now? Is you got let's see, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. It'll probably be next year. So it's a big dig. There now are about 2,300 Tractor Supply stores here in the United States, including 98 here in New York State. The company's first store was in Binghamton. In the Binghamton area, was opened in Vestal in 2002. A second Broome County store opened in Shenango in 2018. Oh, did you hear what happened up at Shenango yesterday? They had a gas leak. I guess there's some drillers that they evacuated.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a big. So there we have a Tractor Supply, which they're a pretty decent store. What would you classify them? They're like a hardware store, in a sense.
Kind of,
Yeah.
but not really. I mean, they have dog food, cat food, they have clothes, they have,
Yeah.
I think, some hardware,
Right.
stuff, farm stuff.
Farm stuff. Yeah, they're be good for the farmers and stuff like that. But that's a 22,000 square foot. That's a lot. That's a big store. That is a very big store. Okay, let's see what else we have on Fox. That was on WNBF. And let's see here. Go back to home. What else we got for stories? And that's about it for what's going on WBNG. Let's see. Tioga Gardens speaks on. No, we don't want that one. Heavy law enforcement present at 2nd Street in Binghamton. No, they're probably a Marathon area. Volunteer ambulance takes construction bids for new station. Okay, that's interesting, but not interesting enough to bring up. It's just talking about a construction. And let's see, anything. I'm not seeing absolutely anything that pops out here on. Oh, they do have 3 weather alerts in effect. Flood in the Broome County. Well, you got flood warnings here in Tioga County too. So, and but let's see. There's absolutely nothing. There's nothing really I want to really want to talk about. Oh, okay. Federal Real ID compliance goes into effect soon. Okay, me and the missus, we just got our Real ID, and it's no big deal. They're making more of this than they should be. Just go out and get your Real ID if you want to fly on an airplane. Basically, cut and dry. You're not inconvenienced. It's what's required now. So it's just like people are saying, "Oh, you're infringing on my whatever." But let's go ahead and bring this one up because it. Me and the missus, we got our Real ID, so I could fly on an airplane here in the United States. Now, I could have upgraded that to what do they call it, Real ID, and then it's enhanced. Enhanced would have enabled me to go across the border to Mexico or Canada. I don't plan on going to any one of those 2 countries anytime soon. And if I go to another country, I'm going to go out and get a passport before I go out. Okay, so this is something that's going on in the United States, and my opinion is they're making too much of a big deal. It is a big deal, but I got my Real ID, so I don't really give a flying. If people want to fly in an airplane, and most people that take their traveling seriously will have one of these. So let's go ahead and see what this is all about here.
Officers are seeing lines out the door just one day before required Real IDs go into effect around the country.
12 News' Daniel Curran explains everything you need to know before tomorrow's deadline.
The deadline to be issued a Real ID is upon us. Starting Wednesday, people traveling on domestic flights or entering federal buildings will be required to show their updated identification. Director of Aviation at Greater Binghamton Airport, Mark Hefner, says this will create a smoother interaction with TSA.
The Real IDs are already vetted. When you're issued a Real ID, it's already been vetted and it's already been put in place for the TSA system.
With just one day until the Real ID deadline, Broome County officials say DMV locations in Binghamton and Endicott have received an influx of appointments.
The last 3 weeks have just been crazy with people coming in. We're seeing record numbers monthly of over 12,000 transactions a month the last few months. So it's definitely been an increase.
Although the deadline is tomorrow, Broome County Clerk Joseph Mahalko tells residents to take their time if they are able.
People shouldn't rush. I mean, if you're not planning on flying in the next 2 weeks, there's no need to come in right now, or if you're not planning on going into a federal building.
Hefner hopes to see more secure gates and less waits around the country.
This was going to definitely enhance the nation's security overall. As I mentioned earlier, this has been several years in the making and implementing it and making sure that it goes in. So it's definitely going to enhance security, and we are excited for it. I mean, with any change, there's always bumps.
Anyone with an enhanced driver's license would get the same access that is given with Real ID. Travelers who aren't Real ID compliant by the upcoming deadline this week will still be able to fly. Head of the Department of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, says those who still lack an identification that complies with Real ID law, quote, may be diverted to a different line and have an extra step. Daniel Curran, 12 News, Broome County.
Okay, that's something I did not hear. They're not going to just turn people away.
No, they just have to.
They get in a separate line, and they have to probably show. So it's part of the process. 2 things from that article. It enhances security, number 1. Okay, I'm always for that. If it enhances the security of my country, I'm for that. So the average American, like we're talking with Double J's here, if they don't agree with it and stuff, that's your bag of donuts. Then don't get the thing. You can't fly, or you can't go. You have to have one of those to go into a federal building now. So, but I take it serious. I'm not going to be flying anytime soon, but we just went down to the DMV, was it about 2-3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Walked in. It took us 30 minutes to get it. No problem. They said, hey, you can get an enhanced one if you want. It allows you to go to Canada. I said, no, I don't. No, thank you. I'm happy right here in the United States. But if I'm in the United States, if I want to go out west, I have a sister that lives out in Arizona. I'm not going to drive out there. I'd like to fly out there, if I want to go out there. So it's always good to. So I'm all set. The other thing is, this isn't a last minute thing. So this has been going on. And just that, we get this thing two years out. We're going to have this, get close. And like I said, I just found out watching this article with you all right now that they're not just going to turn you away, because they understand if you got a license, or if you got a airplane ticket and you've got hundreds of dollars you paid for that plane, they're not going to turn you away. You just go over this line. You got an extra step to take care of, and we'll take care of you. But make sure, this is a reminder, it can be a little bit smoother if you have your real ID. So I think it's just it's just common sense. You're going to need something to do something, so get it done. It's the law, okay? It's like people say, oh, this is just we have our New York, I'm going to go off on the tangent here. Our New York Senator, Chuck Schumer, he thinks it's an infringement, but he was talking about having these when they first started it 2 years ago. So, just because President Trump is in office, that it relates to him. It has nothing to do with President Trump. So Chuck Schumer, put a sock in it, okay, from one of your constituents. And just for the full disclosure, he's a Democrat. I have voted for Chuck Schumer once or twice in my lifetime, because I'll just be honest with you, the Republican was a gangster, so I didn't want to have nothing to do with it. He was a better of two evils, okay? So I can say that. Chuck Schumer, put a sock in it. Chuck Schumer, he is good to the veterans in the past, but lately he's been real shrill. Use common sense and try to be a Democrat that has a freaking message, for God's sake, because that side has no message. Captain Rehab, how you doing there, my friend? How you doing? No, it's not just that group. It's not just them. It's don't. It's not the dang L's. I'm not going to say that word on this broadcast. As far as that goes, I'm just talking about people using common sense, because there's Republicans are the same way, Captain Rehab. I've seen it firsthand. Republicans can be as much boneheaded as Democrats and all the people that you're talking about.
Yeah, they're called politicians.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm excluding the politicians. Okay, it's a given on the politicians as far as I'm concerned. I'm talking about regular people. They don't have a freaking clue. No, she's not clicking the dishes. She's having her breakfast right here. She's having her breakfast. That's just for you, Captain Rehab. Good morning from the missus. Good to have you here. Captain Rehab coming in from Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, as far as that goes. And that just got a big laugh. You got one smiley face and two LOLs. That's good. Glad to have you. I hope all is well with you, Captain Rehab. Good to have you here, my friend. And we're just getting the news there. But the real ID you have to have here in the to travel on an airplane in the United States. Again, watching that, you don't have to if you don't have it right now, you're in the process of getting it, they're going to accommodate you to get on your airplane if you don't have it and stuff like that. But I think for the most people, what did they say the percentage? It's probably like, I would say at least 70, 75% of the people do have either a real ID enhanced or a passport. If you have a passport, you can fly in the United States too. It's just documentation that you have to travel on that particular mode. And as far as that goes, no, it's not okay to use a fake ID. No. You can try it, and then they're going to put the cuffs on you there, dude. If you want, and that's a federal offense, my friend. I wouldn't even want to go to a federal holding area. No. Fake ID. I know you're just joking, Captain Rehab. I know you're just laughing. That's let's see, what else do we have over here on so that's me and the missus. Like I said, we got ours we got our,
almost last minute.
was it?
Almost.
Yeah, it was
last
almost
minute.
last minute and stuff like that. But we could have got it way before that. But it's just like, you know what? The deadline. But today's the deadline. Are they going to stop people from getting on an airplane? No, they'll let you go. You gotta just fill out another form and stuff like that. And they're accommodating that provision and stuff like that. But by next year, you better have a real ID or else you're not getting on an airplane. It'll just be commonplace then, just like a passport. Don't give me this infringement on my privacy thing. It's been in law for 2 frickin' years. Now you all of a sudden you're talking about privacy thing. Get real, folks. Okay, let's see. What else do we got here on? What's this? That was on WBNG. That was the only article I think I really saw as far as that goes. So let's see. On the whale, what do we have on the whale? Anything? Isn't social no, that's not an ID. It's not it's not one of the approved IDs to get on an airplane, Captain Rehab. You have 3. You have an enhanced, a real ID, or a passport. As far as that goes, let's see. There's nothing on the whale. 99.1 FM that I see. Let's see. Channel 34. What's this shoe drive? What's this about? I always like, this is social security. No. You need social security to in some aspects though. What do we need to have we had to have a social security card along with 2 other IDs to get our real ID. So no, social security, an ID has a true ID. Captain Rehab has a picture on it. So can I use a tip with a DNA
Jesus.
swab?
He's just poking at you now.
With a DNA swab to board an aircraft? No, you're poking now. Okay, that's it. The swab just ended there. I'm not going to recognize anymore. We're done talking about getting on an airplane, Captain Rehab. Here's a good story. United Way's Heels and Souls shoe drive, as far as that goes. And let's see, Captain Rehab. He's laughing. And no, I'm not going to kill you. No, it's all fun. It's just like, okay, that's it. You got a roadblock on that. There's a people that when they do board airplanes, it has nothing to do with the real ID. Have you seen the article where they before they get in, they put some holy water on the door?
Oh, wow.
As far as they don't want the airplane to crash. It's like, okay, let's look at this one. This is a story about United Way's Heel and Soul shoe drive. So it's something that is for the community, benefit the community. So let's see what this is about.
The cusp of back-to-school shopping, and a local nonprofit is taking donations of shoes to make sure every student has a new pair. The United Way of Broome County is hosting its 2nd year of the Heel and Soul Project. The charitable arm of Ohanahee Services, called Ohanahee Cares, donated $1,000 to the project today to help purchase pairs of shoes. Now through July 25th, you can donate at the United Way's facility on Jensen Road in Vestal or at one of 20 drop-off sites. Executive Director Paula Perna is hoping to raise over 1,000 pairs of shoes this year.
Last year, we distributed probably 320 pair of sneakers, and the line was very, very long, and a lot of people had to be turned away. So we want more shoes this year, more sneakers this year. We're going to be distributing them in early August before the start of the school year.
The United Way asks that the pairs of shoes are brand new and are ideally either sneakers or boots. They're looking for a wide range of sizes to accommodate students 18 years and younger. For a list of drop-off locations, go to binghamtonhomepage.com.
So a shoe drive. a shoe drive here in the southern tier of upstate New York. Yeah, that's let me see. On your last comment there, you never saw that one with the blessing? And yeah, it's out there. Yeah, the shoe drive. Yeah, that's in Vestal, New York, where they're having it. And the last time they had 320 pairs of shoes they gave away, and they had to turn people away. This is the same thing as they have coat drives for people that are, kids that are in need. Okay, there are unfortunately kids that they need shoes, they need coats, so they have these drives. So we had 320 pairs of shoes last year given out by the United Way. That's a lot of people, a lot of kids, as far as that goes. So that's something here in the southern tier of upstate New York, dealing with shoes and making sure that they have a good pair of shoes for the school year. Or no, it's the end of the school year.
Yeah, the summer.
For the summer, yeah.
For any time.
Yeah, and as far as that goes. So they do have coat drives in the fall. And there's people that are in need. So, the United Way, one of the many organizations here in the southern tier, and there's a lot of communities throughout this country here, the United States, that there are always people in need. So my hat's off to the United Way for providing that as far as that goes. Thank you. Let's see. Let's see. That's about it for channel 34. Let's see what we got on WENY. Not seeing anything on WNE. We haven't really had much from WNE. Oh, we talked about before coming on here. Okay, they have something here on WENY. We're going to play this. The Trump and Canadian Prime Minister focus on tariffs in the White House. So let's go ahead and bring up this one. This is on the national side because this gives you an idea who the new Prime Minister of Canada is. And he's a gentleman that his name is Mark Carney. He's the new prime minister that's taking over from the doofus that was up in there in Canada as the prime minister. I'm going to make no bones about it. I like this guy, and I think President Trump likes him also. So let's go ahead and see what this story is about. And this is from WENY. This is channel out there, ABC affiliate, as far as that goes. So here we go. Let's listen to this one.
Canada's Prime Minister telling President Trump that Canada is not for sale. It happened during an Oval Office meeting between the two leaders and comes at a time when tensions between the two countries over the president's tariffs. WENY Washington correspondent Rachel Knapp joins us live. Rachel, what were some of your main takeaways from this meeting?
Good evening, Renata. So all eyes were on the Oval today to see that meeting between the president and Canada's new Prime Minister, Mark Carney, especially after Carney ran on essentially an anti-Trump platform. But Renata, for the most part, their meeting was pretty cordial. They did exchange a few jokes here and there, but also some pretty tough statements. But the main focus, of course, is on the tariffs on Canada, which is one of our largest trading partners.
Regardless of anything, we're going to be friends with Canada.
During this high-stakes meeting, President Trump says never say never to Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney after the PM shut down the president's repeated claims that Canada should become the 51st state.
It's not for sale, won't be for sale ever, but the opportunity is in the partnership and what we can build together. We have done that in the past.
Since returning to office, the relationship with our northern neighbor has become more frail after Trump's repeated statehood push and now the tariffs on goods from Canada. Shortly before the meeting, the president took to social media saying, quote, "We don't need anything they have other than their friendship," and adding, "They, on the other hand, need everything from us."
And
during the meeting, he repeated that claim. The U.S. heavily relies on Canadian energy, cars, machinery, and agriculture products. The president's global trade war aims to bring in more manufacturing and business in America, but it has sent shockwaves to global markets and trade partners. Experts say it will take time to build this kind of manufacturing plants and rely on other countries like Canada for.
Well, we don't do much business with Canada from our standpoint. They do a lot of business with us.
But according to the Office of the U.S. Trade Representative, Canada was the top destination for U.S. exports and the third largest source of U.S. imports last year. During the meeting, the president says he wants to rework the USMCA. It's a trade agreement between the U.S., Mexico, and Canada. The pair seem to be open to modifying the agreement.
This is a bigger discussion. There are much bigger forces involved, and this will take some time and some discussions, and that's why we're here.
And Renata, during the meeting, the president was asked if Carney could say anything during that meeting that could lift the tariffs on Canada today. He simply replied, no. Renata, back to you.
Rachel.
Okay, there we have it. Just so my take, I'm a believer in the tariffs because they're only going to be temporary because we're going to have countries to where the whole purpose of the tariffs is to bring the an equal and fair trading between two partners. And Canada, they sell more to us than we sell to them, and there's restrictions on that. It's not that there's restrictions to these countries where there's a trade deficit where they block American products for coming in. Do we get a lot from Canada? Yes. Do we give a lot from Canada? Yes, I think we do. So it should be zero across the board. There shouldn't be any tariffs between Canada. That's my feeling. Okay. As far as the same with Mexico, there are our northern and our southern neighbors. Overseas, when you have a trade deficit where you can't even get India and I know this that India, they have a 110% tariff on Harley Davidson going in. That's unfair. We're getting all your products and you're getting more money. You're taking more money out of this country than we're receiving back. That's unfair. It's just common sense. As far as the new PM taking an anti-Trump stance, it may have been in his political thing, but he's sitting down with the man discussing. So don't even bring that up anymore. It's a non-entity. To bring up the fact of what he said before, you have a vice president to the President Trump, J.D. Vance. He was very outspoken to the President Trump before back in the day and during Trump's first administration. He's the vice president now. They come to a concession. And that's what President Trump is doing with the new prime minister of Canada. Because let's be frank, the last prime minister of Canada, in my opinion, he was a bonehead. He was an idiot. He wasn't good in my opinion, he was not good for the Canadian people. He may have been duly elected and stuff, but the thing is, I wouldn't even, if I was a Canadian, I would have never voted for him. The guy was a pompous ass as far as that goes. So, and you just have to look at some of his comments and some of the things he has done that I feel makes him up. So that's just my opinion. Full disclosure there. So it's all about discussion. President Trump is talking to these other countries. If other countries want to talk to the United States, we got to bring the trade deficit to a fair point. If it's a little over, okay, but some of these is unreal. They're not, you can't allow any American products, okay, like China. That's the major thing. China dumps so much into this country. We can't bring that same amount back into China because China won't allow it. They will not allow it. They won't let American cars. If they do, they're such a luxury. They're overpriced. So, and the same thing with Europe. So the European Union, they're saying, oh, this is going to be detrimental to our country. Well, you're being a detrimental to our country because you're ripping us off, as the President Trump would say. You just look at the numbers. You look at all the numbers of all these countries and you add them all up. That's one of the reasons why we're in a deficit. And so I think it's a wake-up call. Is this going to be forever? I don't think President Trump's intentions is to have this forever because we've always had tariffs, folks. They've always been on the side of the other, not in favor of the United States. So all of a sudden we speak up and everybody's bad mouthing the United States. Oh, you're messing up the economy. Oh, yeah, but you're at our expense. Not no more. There's a new president in town. So it's one of the things that I like. It wasn't one of those things that came up during the election, because the prime reason I like President Trump is he did something about the southern border. He's doing something about the illegal criminal terrorists, aliens that came into this country. And that's all I'm going to say about that as far as it goes. So that was the number one issue that got President Trump. So this is just extra. There's going to be some back and forth. You look at previous presidents, there's always been something they dislike and stuff like that. But when you use common sense, strip the Democrat Republican away. Look at what are they trying to say? What are they going to do? My president is trying to make this country safe, make this country. We're a powerful country. We want to say top of the heap. We're not going to bow down to other countries just because what we do ruins your account. Well, maybe comply, and then have a fair. The big discussion is having fair trade between two partners. When the trade is way off and off whack, that's not fair trade. Common sense. Okay. And, this is disrupting the world. Yeah. Well, if we're at the leader and stuff and you're taking advantage of us, no more, folks. So I'll get off my high horse now here. That was from WENY. The affiliate out there in ABC affiliate out there in Elmira. Let's see what else we have for news. But I do like the new Canadian Prime Minister. I first impressions is I think he, because President Trump's, it doesn't show that, but I was watching some news on it yesterday, the interview between the two, and President Trump likes this guy. Even though he has in the past been not really in favor of President Trump. I guess the dryer is done there. So, and they have to have dialogue. They have to talk. If you don't talk, you just can't be bitching about each other. You got to have talk. And so I welcome the Canadian Prime Minister, and thank you for visiting our country and talking with our president. My president. Okay, let's see. Anything on a WNBF or WENY? Let's see. Nothing. Let's go to the other Elmira channel, channel 18. Oh, here it is. The town of Chemung. This is the gas leak they had yesterday. Let's go ahead and bring this one up. Is this going to come up? Why isn't this coming up? Let's see, news. Let's bring this up in that format. Let's see. We talked about Real ID. How come this one won't come up here? Let's see. Bring it up this way. Let's see. Okay, here it is. This is residents can return home after a gas leak out there in town of Chemung, which is to the west here. This is on channel 18. Let's go ahead and bring this up here. Let's see. We're going to go ahead and what happened? Oh, I got to represent. Hang on for a minute. Let's go ahead and represent this. Let's see. Present. Okay, that's the one we want right there. Okay, here we go. Okay, we got it. Okay, so let's listen to this.
Some scary moments today for some people in the town of Chemung. They had to be evacuated from their homes after a gas leak. A large portion of Main Street had to be blocked off after a gas line break. Around 25 people are now back home after they were forced to evacuate. Nobody was hurt. Chemung County's emergency management director told 18 News that an underground gas line was hit and broken during a construction.
Okay, so they weren't aware of, usually here in New York State, if they're drilling, they have to know what's underneath the ground. And evidently they skipped a process of looking. They just assumed that there was no water lines, gas lines, and stuff like that. But there's a company here in New York State. I think it's a federal thing. They got to check to see what lines are buried underground. So there's that one. As far as that goes, what was this other one I saw? What the heck was this one? Let's see. Let me go to the news channel here. Get more Real ID. What's this fighter jet thing? Oh, they had a fighter jet that landed on the USS Harry Truman aircraft carrier goes overboard, forcing pilot to eject. Whoa, this is over in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. An F-18 fighter jet on the USS Harry S. Truman aircraft carrier in the Red Sea went overboard, forcing 2 pilots to eject, defense officer told the Associated Press Wednesday. The incident Tuesday marks the latest mishap to mar the deployment of the Truman, which has been essential in the airstrikes by the United States of America against the Yemenis Houthi rebels. On Tuesday, U.S. President Donald Trump and Oman's foreign minister both said that a ceasefire had been reached with the Houthis, who would no longer target ships in the Red Sea corridor, something not immediately acknowledged by the rebels. That's because they're getting their asses kicked. Meanwhile, the Houthis continue to assess the damage after daytime Israel airstrikes. Landing goes wrong. The F-18 Super Hornet landed on the Truman after a flight, but the arrestment failure, that's the barrier that goes across that catch the hook, said official who spoke on conditions of autonomy because they weren't authorized to speak publicly. Arrestment refers to a hook system used by aircraft on carriers, and the Air Force has this type of system on airfields. It's called a barrier engagement. They have a constant, when they land on a carrier, they're doing a barrier engagement, and this is where the cable catches a steel. The cable or the hook catches a steel wire rope on the flight deck, and it remains unclear what part of the system failed. The 2 pilots on board were later rescued by helicopter and suffered minor damages, and so that's pretty interesting. Something happened on that case, and that's a modern day carrier there as far as that goes. So that's interesting. Let's see, what else was there? Let's see, do we want to do this most travelers with Real ID? Give us a different perspective? No, that's just a picture. So we've already talked about Real ID. So, okay, let's see. What are we doing on time here? Oh, we're going to push 2 hours there. So let's see. Nothing there on the penny saver. And nothing on WKGB. KISS 102, probably the same. Nothing there. Up there in Buffalo, Country WYRK 106.5. I like going. Sometimes they have a few articles. They got the Buffalo Bills on here. That's why I bring them up. They don't have nothing to do with the Southern Tier, but it's the Buffalo area. And the other channel, same thing. Nothing there. And I think that's about it as far as that goes. Let's see. On this day in music history, no, we won't get into that. No, we won't get into that. I think we're at the end of our broadcast here, and I think I've gone through. We had some good articles here and stuff like that. Good commentary. So bear with me. It's most of the stuff is on the. I do express my opinion, and it's you can agree or disagree. That's your choice, your bag of donuts. But that's one of the reasons why I do this live stream. I do from time to time express my opinion, but I keep it civil. I keep it direct. I do have a set of core values and stuff, and as far as that goes, and I don't think it really offends anybody. If it does, well, that's your bag of donuts. It's not mine, because I have to tolerate other people's opinions as far as that goes. So I try and keep it real and whatnot. But we had some interesting articles here covering the southern tier of upstate New York, and interesting stuff, very interesting stuff. But we're going to go ahead and end the broadcast here because we are at the 2-hour mark. So I want to say thank you to Double J's for being here. Thank you very much, sir. Greatly appreciate your presence here this Wednesday morning on the Wednesday morning coffee, and your the contributing to the discussion here in the chat. Thank you, Double J's. You have a great one, and thank you, Tina. Tina was here, our Jersey girl. Thank you, Tina, for being here. You have a great day. We had who else do we have? I think after that we had Tony D. Tony D was in the house. Thank you, Tony. Have a great one. My brother veteran, my good friend and fellow broadcaster. You have a great one down there in Warner Robins. Be safe, okay? And we'll be talking with you somewhere down the line and stuff like that. And Captain Rehab. Thank you very much, Captain Rehab, for being here. Our good friend from Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. He is a New Yorker too, by the way. He is a New Yorker. I consider him a New Yorker. He's a good guy. I've known Captain Rehab since the Haps days, so he does pun fun, and I do enjoy it because we do enjoy having you here, Captain Rehab. So thank you for being here. I want to say thank you for those folks that were watching the live feed here. You greatly appreciate it as far as that goes. And if you're watching this on the replay, thank you very much. The replays are very important, and I do notice them. So thank you as far as that goes. Again, you're just like the people that are watching live here. You are taking a little bit of your time to listen or watch and listen, and that is appreciated, as well as the people that are listening over there on Spotify for Creators on the audio pod. We repurpose the audio right after I download the audio, and we repurpose it over there on Spotify for Creators. So we are out of here. We are halfway through the week. We will be back Friday for the Friday morning coffee. Tomorrow will be a audio podcast on Spotify for Creators. We do that on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We didn't do it yesterday because every 2 weeks we have the Mixcloud. So that's the schedule that we're on. So, but we're here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for the morning coffee for that particular day. And I do appreciate your views. So I am Rich Roberts. I am over there on X at Fireman Rich. That's my mainstay for social media. I post links to stuff. If you want to know what I'm doing, you can go there. You can hit the link and you can see what I'm doing either on PUBG Battlegrounds or what's some other stuff? Space. I posted something. I guess they're getting ready for what is it? Starship 35 and Heavy Booster 14 going up on Test Flight 14 at the end of the month, hopefully, and we'll be live streaming that too. That's always a good live stream because I'm a space nut. But you can check me out over there on X at Fireman Rich. I'm on a host of others. Check the links on the particular platforms that you're on the live streams. You'll see that there are links to other places I do post on. There's at least a dozen other places and stuff. So or else Google at Fireman Rich. But for the most part, just go to Twitch or go to Twitter, what used to be known as Twitter, as X, because that's my mainstay on all these fine social media platforms. Okay, again, you all have a great one. Enjoy your Wednesday, and we're working towards the weekend, and we'll be seeing you later. Live life, have fun. Ciao for now. As always, peace. Take care, folks, and we are out of here with Skateboard. Take care, folks. Ciao for now.